Hello and welcome back to the Macca's Talk Hockey Podcast, the podcast where me and my brother Charlie talk about English ice hockey, specifically the NIHL, the National Ice Hockey League, the league we love and enjoy. And we are joined again by Dan. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm good, thank you. How are you both?
Not too bad.
I'm not
Charlie, you all right?
bad. I'm not too bad. I want to be in New York.
This time next week, we will be in New York, probably having some food for lunch and getting ready for the game in the evening. We're literally 6 days away. I actually cannot wait. That first game is going to be so good. We have got an interview lined up tomorrow for this episode with Brennan Feasey. So that should be a good one. So we're planning to do that tomorrow, and that'll be on this episode. So we'll cut to that when we finish talking about this weekend. Lads, have you got any drinks? I'm guessing not, because I'm the only one who brings a drink. And that is, of course, the Pepsi Max. Yeah, shut up, Charlie. Right, we got the Pepsi Max, of course. And we just wanted to give a shout out to the V's. Charlie was actually getting a Pepsi Max from the cafe, but the mascot came over to me and Dan, and they gave us some Pepsi Max Mango, the new flavor. So thank you very much to the V's, some free Mango Pepsi Max. They know us well.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Other teams.
Yeah, other teams. If you want a little picture on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, just supply us with some Pepsi Max and we'll do that. But yeah.
Hopefully it won't take as long to work out next time.
Yeah, the mascot didn't speak and I was stood there like, why are you giving this to me? And it took me so long to clock that obviously I'm the Pepsi Max man. So
what's Dan's drink?
Dan, what drink do you have, or do you not have a drink?
I ain't got a drink.
It's only me.
Give him a bottle of water.
But yeah, starting with the big news, and it is positive news. It came out start of last week that the Wildcats rink is finally opening on the 16th of December, where we will be having our home opener against the Sheffield Steel Dogs, and then we've got Leeds at home the next day as well. Charlie, absolutely buzzing. They're going to be back in Swindon. I can't wait.
Well, I can stop traveling around half the country. I've traveled so many games. I don't know if anyone knows, I haven't missed a hockey game for Swindon yet. So this weekend will be the first games I miss. So I've done every single away game with the boys as well. So I'm just excited, I can't lie, to drive 10 minutes down the road and get to the rink instead of driving an hour and a half minimum every journey.
Yeah, it's a hefty schedule though, Dan. We've got 7 home games in December and then another 2 away games as well. Do you think this is going to play on the players? Do you think they're going to get tired, or do you just think the adrenaline of being back home in front of that crowd, I think it's going to be packed out as well. Do you think it will help them?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knew it was going to be like this. Everyone knew it was going to be a massive clump of games all in one bit. And like you say, I think obviously being back in your rink, I think that's just going to push them on to play. Just play for the fans, just proper comeback with a bang. That's what they're going to want.
Yeah, well, we've got, obviously, that first weekend, we've got 2 home games, a Saturday, Sunday. Then we got one on the Thursday, a Saturday, and then an away game on the Sunday. And then we got a Tuesday, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. So it is a very hefty schedule. Charlie, I think we're looking at 9 or 10 games in the month of December, which is going to be very fun, isn't it?
Yeah. I wanted to, I found this really funny. I was speaking to someone about it the other day. So next week, officially, like next week, Sunday we've got NHL game, Monday NHL game, Tuesday NHL game, Wednesday NHL game, Thursday, Friday we got the nights off,
but we'll be traveling back.
Yeah, we'll be traveling back, and then Saturday, Sunday, and not NHL, better NIHL. So we are watching 6 ice hockey games in 8 days. So we can't really moan about the amount of hockey, and I get to watch Malazinski and Matthews, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, in the same bracket, aren't they? We'll go into that review and argue.
Malas is the level above.
The other bit, there's not really much news this week. There's not. Oh, actually, sorry, there is. Sirisenis has gone back to Peterborough. We predicted that, didn't we, Charlie? It was the only place really I could see him going back. Maybe a Sheffield, but yeah, he's gone back home to Peterborough.
Yeah, good signing, innit? What do you think, Dan?
He played this weekend, didn't he?
No, he's going to like it back, and it's the same system that he's been playing for the past 2 seasons, wherever it is. He's not really going to take any time to get back into it, is he?
Yeah, I was surprised he actually went to Bristol. Obviously, we don't know the reasons in making the transfer. Maybe he just wanted something new. It didn't work out. and he's gone back to Peterborough. But yeah, I think he's just going to fit straight back in that lineup. And he was very good last season. He scored some big goals, especially against Milton Keynes. He loved a goal against Milton Keynes, didn't he, Charlie?
And he loves his celly as well, which
Yeah.
I'm not going to moan about his celly, me.
Yeah.
Ollie Endicott had a good celly this weekend.
Yeah, he did. The only other bit of news, apart from that, was there was a kind of bench clearance in the MK Leeds game.
No, that does not
it
count.
wasn't
No,
a
just
bench
some fights. Get out of here.
They came off the
Just
bench.
a couple of fights.
But we'll see if there's any bans handed out. I doubt there will be, but pardon me, there was some bans handed out for the whole game when everyone come off the bench and had some fights. So who knows? This league just surprises me every week with the amount of bans, doesn't it, Dan?
In that MK Milton Keynes game, the MK coach grabbed Griffin and pulled him back. Number 44 Griffin, so Leeds is Griffin.
Ooh.
So the MK assistant coach grabbed a player from the bench and dragged him. So I wonder whether the league will have a look at that one, because I found that very interesting how the MK assistant coach grabbed a Leeds player.
Is it on video as well?
Yeah, one of the Leeds fans caught him.
Ooh, well,
I was sat there
affect
thinking,
him,
oh my days, if I think that should be at least a ban for the assistant coach. I don't think that's right, but yeah, I found that very interesting how he got involved. I think MK got a little bit rattled that game.
Yeah, should we go on to it? Let's start with it, because it was the main doubleheader of the weekend, and on the Saturday, you two went to it. I could go to the game. But yeah, we'll start with Dan. What did you make of the game? 4-1 to MK, 3-1, but they got an empty net goal at the end. It sounded like a really tight game, but MK just got the advantage on them.
Yeah, it was as we thought it was going to be. It was a really professional game of hockey.
Yeah.
Both teams just battling it out. They knew how important the games were. The momentum sort of shifted throughout the game. You sort of had one team showing that they were dominating, and then it would sort of switch over, and then it would sort of go to end. It sort of had a bit of everything with the momentum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game, really. It was a good game to watch anyway. Good skills on show, good players, obviously. Yeah. And it was a good little battle.
Charlie, we've obviously questioned the Milton Keynes defence, whether it's going to be too small this season for those big games. But in their home rink, they seem to just have it on lock, and they protected Curlin really well, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought Curlin played well. I wouldn't say he had like this worldy of a game, but I thought he did his job. And I was speaking to someone on Twitter, and they were like, "Oh, should MK bring in a goalie?" I said, "No." I said, "You sign a backup, so that if your main goalie gets injured, you play him." And it sounded like Curlin had a decent game in Leeds. It's always going to be difficult going there. So shout out to Curlin. He had the pressure on him, and he did perform, to be fair of him. And another player I really like was Archie Salisbury. He's a good little youngster, got some good minutes. We always make a joke because when he got announced for Peterborough, he got announced as a plumber, and we always find that one quite funny. So Archie Salisbury, the plumber, had a game of his life. And then an interesting player to watch as well, and I'm hoping we can get him onto the podcast, was Bailey Koga. Konga. There we go. He had his moments. He hit the post, he got a really important assist on the power play, and he hit the crossbar. So he really could have changed that game around. And I think on another day, he would have bagged 2 goals, and he looks like a player to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's unlucky not to score from what you boys were saying. But quickly on Curlin, he was a starter last season, so it's not like he's being thrown into these games not expecting to know what a starter feels like, because he did start for Bristol for most of their season last season. So he sounded like he did a really good job. He got the man of the match as well. And it just sounded like a really tight professional game, as you said, Dan. But we move on to the Sunday, and we were all thinking, can MK use this now to just get momentum? But as the Knights always do on their home rink, they just grinded out and they got a massive 6-3 win. So the points were shared this weekend, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best for both teams, really. Obviously, they would have both wanted to get 4-point weekends, but I mean, they're both really hard to beat in their own rinks. MK obviously make it a fortress, Leeds make it a fortress, and they're both really hard rinks to go to because they just pack them out, and just they're so good on their own ice.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think the teams will be too annoyed about that. I think it's fair.
Yeah,
It's
Charlie,
fair
you
with
had
the
a
teams.
you had a shout out to a player. You love him. He scored again on the
Ollie
opener for
Endicott,
Leeds.
he got
Ollie
2 points, I
Endicott.
believe, on the night. But I think Leeds will come out happier. MK were 3-2 up, and they had a kerfuffle with some fights and stuff, and then they gave away a 5-on-3, and it cost them.
Yeah.
It cost them the momentum of the game. And Jamie Macro made a good point on Twitter. Was fights can change games. Big moments like that can turn around games. The momentum swapped by the sounds of it. MK were playing quite a professional, disciplined game, and then suddenly that went, and Leeds took over, and the big boys of the weekend turned up. And again, it emphasizes how important signings like Buesa, and for me especially, and I know Dan as well, Bo Neely. He is the
100%.
man. He is so good, man. Like, honestly, he's such a good D, man. And that signing for Leeds.
He's too good, you don't even know how to describe him.
He's a joke, man. He's a joke. Considering he's a Brit as well. They got him as a Brit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched his first game, and I've literally rated him ever since then. I knew he was going to be good. Just the way he just went about the puck and just skated up the ice. He's so confident.
He sounds like the perfect Aldridge player, that young buzz around the ice. He could do the defensive and he's an offensive wow. And he's taken up a lot of minutes. And I don't know what they'd be like if they didn't sign him, because they were crying out for that D-man like Bo Neely, weren't they, Charlie?
Well, it's again, just Ryan Aldridge finds a way. Like, at the start of the season, people were questioning a little bit what Leeds had. He found that, I guess, Shudra replacement. I know it's not quite the same, but in Buesa. Yeah. So they solidified their top six. He then brought in Bo Neely to add to their D. He wasn't happy with an import. He got 19 points. So he went, I'm going to bring in a new import. And I like that about Leeds. They know MK are good, and they know MK are going to be on their toes, and they know they've got to be at their best. And they've made very clever signings so that they stay one step ahead of MK.
Yeah, and we've seen it with the imports as well. We'll see how this Bailey Conga gets on. But he's not afraid to switch things around. And I think these two teams now, those are the games you got to win. And it's like, I don't see him dropping points at their home rinks. I just can't see him dropping. I know we beat Leeds, but they just seem to grind out wins. Should we move on to the next doubleheader, which was the Pitbulls against the Sharks? This was actually a very, very good weekend. On the Saturday, the Sharks came away with a 3-2 overtime win. No surprises who scored the overtime goal, John Dunbar, and that puts him up to 40 points on the season. I know we expected that, but yeah, he just showed his class. But the Pitbulls hit back in Dumfries the next day with a 7-4 win, and Feasey, who we'll have on in the minute, scored another 4 goals. Dan, he seems like a very, very nice little addition to the Pitbulls, what they needed.
Yeah, he's literally that spark, I think, that they wanted the whole time.
Yeah,
he's been a really important addition, obviously, with that coaching role as well. I'm guessing that's obviously done something to the team. But it's weird how he's scoring 4 goals away, but not scoring them at home.
Well, he did get a couple against Sheffield at home, didn't he?
But 4 goals away on the bounce now. It's obviously 8 goals over the 2 away games from Bees and from Solway. It's pretty mental.
Charlie, they seem like a confidence team, don't they? They've got 7 out of 8 points in the last 2 weekends. If you'd have told us that the week before, you'd have been like, wow, that is a very good turnaround. And we'll go in the fixtures in a bit. They've got another nice weekend, which they can rack up even more points. So they just keep having to take it a game at a time.
Yeah, it's a Tanner Butler effect. He's the best D-man in the league, you know. Like, now shout out to Reece Cochran as well.
Yeah, he's stepping up actually.
Obviously I haven't had Ed Bradley. I don't really know why, but it means some of their D-men have got to step up. I think in Solway they had 5 D-gun up there, and they step up. They put in a big minutes. They put in a big shifts. A player like Elliot Lewis got on the point scoring, and they're playing well, and they're winning games of hockey, and that's going to be fun. 7 points in 8 games. And to be fair, Jamie Ellison is proving some people wrong at the moment. They're picking up the points. I was thinking, is Jamie Ellison the right man for Bristol? But he's made a move to make Feasey the assistant coach, Tanner Butler the captain, and now they got 7 points in 8. Big plays for Bristol.
I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest difference I've seen from when they were going through a bit of a bad patch to now, their top players are stepping up. Harding's getting on the score sheet now. Harewood got on the score sheet yesterday, and obviously bringing in Feasey, he's getting on the score sheet a bit too much at the moment. But those big players are stepping up, and it just allows the third and the fourth line to just relax a bit. So it shows they're sticking in the games. So yeah, really good weekend for Pitbulls, and that actually takes them off the bottom of the table now. So they're on 13 points, and we'll move on to them. The Raiders, not a great weekend for them. They did lose their doubleheader against the Seahawks, 4-2 in the first game and 3-1 in the second game. Now, I want to focus on the first game first. The 4-2 game, obviously, Hull didn't have Bonner, they didn't have Chamberlain, and they didn't have Barmer. So they were missing their key Brits. But the imports stepped up, didn't they, Charlie? We spoke about it last week, about how those imports, Bobby Young, Bartholomew and Svek, and they were all on the score sheet this weekend.
Yeah, they kept Raiders down, I guess. They kept in the lead, and they made sure a team which hasn't got too much confidence right now couldn't gain anything, if you know what I mean. They made sure that they didn't give them any momentum to build across on. And Bartholomew picks up the points at D-man. He's one of the best D in this league for sure. And Bobby Young stepped up with a big goal, and Sveki
he got 3 goals this weekend.
And he also had a beer after the Hull game. I don't know if you've seen the video. He comes off the ice, and then the Hull fan just gives him a beer straight into his hands. And I think Svek is having the time of his life in Hull.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Loving it.
He's absolutely smacking them in. I think he's on 20 goals now, which is very, very good. But yeah, Bartholomew, you touched on him. He got Player of the Week. He got a goal, 2 assists. But Dan, I think he's shown that he is. I know we mentioned Tanner Butler a lot, but he is a very, very good defenseman, and he must have played a lot of minutes as well, especially with Barmer being out on that Saturday.
Yeah, I think another reason why we're obviously talking about Butler is because we've seen him play more. Yeah. I think we've only seen. I've only seen Bartholomew play that one game.
Yeah, when we were up in Hull.
And that was literally one of the first games of the season. So
yeah,
and now I reckon he's really obviously settled in now. So it'll be quite interesting to see what he's like now compared to the start of the season. I'm sure he's come across leaps and bounds, really.
Yeah, just a quick point actually on the import defensemen. We've noticed that all 3 of them have stepped up. You mentioned it the other day, Charlie. Arseneau, he's actually picking up the points at the moment. He's getting a few goals. He's getting a few assists here and there. Is it just a case of they've just had to settle in the league, get used to English hockey, and now they're feeling a bit more comfortable, do you think? Because Arseneau's definitely improved since the start of the season.
Yeah, I think they have definitely settled in, and they've started to probably take on the responsibility more. Yeah. There's more responsibility on them with the teams they're on. The one I'm kind of waiting to explode, maybe I'm overlooking it slightly, is McMullen for Leeds.
Oh yeah, he did have an injury though, didn't he? So
he came back from an injury, and the thing is, I think what's difficult for him as well is he's coming into a team which is already really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So to kind of go into a team which is already stacked on paper and to dominate is not going to be easy. Whereas Bartholomew came into a Hull which is thriving. Tanner Butler's the main man at Bristol, in my opinion, and then Arseneau is the main D man at Solway. So, the import Ds are looking like good buys for all 4 clubs, really, and maybe it will make more people buy some next year.
Yeah,
well, sign some. Sorry.
Sign some. Yeah, we were speaking to Banners on the Wall, and he was talking about the defensemen and how it's just a massive gap, like we said at the start of the season. So yeah, maybe some teams next season might look into getting some import D-men. The final game on the Saturday, we'll go into the Bees actually. So their game on the Saturday, they lost 8-4 to the Tigers. They are without Brython Priest, which is a big loss. I think Shepherd has held his own the past couple games. He's done what he can, obviously being that backup goalie. But yeah, Luca grabbing 4 goals, 1 assist. Like he is a goal scorer. And yeah, the Bees felt it this weekend, didn't they? I think they're 6 losses in a row. They didn't have Harvey Stead or Will Stead on the Sunday. Charlie, just the Saturday game first. It sounds like Telford really bounced back after their disappointing result against us.
Yeah, they put a puck in the net, which they struggled to do against Swindon, and they found a Bees team and they took them over. It sounded like quite a rough game as well because there's quite a lot of fighting. There was a match penalty for Chet to the head, and both the Stead brothers got involved. So big win for Telford, especially as it was a one game weekend.
Yeah. And then on the Sunday, our game, it wasn't the prettiest of games, was it, Dan? But Malazinski, he is a magician. He is just I know people must get bored of listening to us talk about Thomas Malazinski, and I know we have a bit of a bias towards him because we watch him every weekend. But he just got us out of that game, didn't he? He just produced his magic. He scored a hat-trick, 2 game-winning goals. Dan, he is just nuts, isn't he?
Yeah, he did take control of the game yesterday. It was a really, like you said, a really scrappy game. No one could really get a hold of it. Malazinski just comes along. He's like, right, just move out of the way, lads. Just let me have it. Right, just let me do it and sort it out. And then he just came to the bench. He was like, there you go, lads. Done it for you.
he is good, and Charlie. And it was 3 fantastic finishes, all in the top right. He's the best in the league for me and you, and he's got me.
David needs to come outside. Matthews needs to come outside because Malazinski, he goes, you know what, boys? Hold my beer up. Let me put the team on the back. And he goes, bang. And then this is the thing, right? Like, he's a joke. Like, he's a cheat code in this league. He's 37 years old. He still bags in this league. He's only played away games, and I know he's picked up the points for fun.
He's got 33 points in 16 games.
And he's not even fully getting cooking yet. So, yeah, even though I am excited to watch Matthews next week, I watch Malazinski every week. It just can't get better than that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and guess what as well? No surprises on who got the 3 assists to Malazinski's goals. No. They are just the best duo. They've been together for ages. So yeah, get back to the game though. B's fair enough, and there was one player we actually wanted to give a shout out to, and that was Nags. He was very, very good, wasn't he, Dan? This is the young. What's his first name? Sorry, I forgot his name. Ollie Nags. Really, really good player, and I think he's just getting so much experience playing in this men's league, and he just looks really comfortable on the puck, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's really calm. Like for a young guy, he's a bit like you said about Jamie Smith. He's just sort of calm on the puck. He plays out the pass. He doesn't rush it. He is a really solid D-man. I think he's got a great future ahead of him if he keeps going.
Yeah, Charlie, we were impressed with him, and I think the best thing for him is to just stay at the Bees and just get all of that ice time, especially with the injuries they're getting on D. He's getting, 20, 30 minutes of ice time?
Yeah, Ollie Nags was really good. He got an assist or 2 that game as well. And good young D, man. We got some good young D in this league at the moment. And then
we had a good debate, didn't we?
Liam Morris had a really good game for me.
Yeah.
The Rat King doing what he does best. Got a cheeky slash right in front of us as well. But Liam Morris, he's good, man. I thought he played a really good game.
To be fair, I know Ballas and Gabaj and that new Vitali, who actually looked the best of the 3. I thought he got his goal and he looked the most threatening. We shut him down quite well, to be fair. And I thought Antonov looked more dangerous, to be fair. But I think we did a good job of shutting them down. But the game itself was just very scrappy, but we managed to get there in the end, and Tomasz stepped up and got us the 2 points. And we got one more weekend to play, and then we're back at home. So, yeah, a really good, really important game to win. I think we're still in with a chance of the cup, but I think Peterborough are probably going to get it. I think it's going to be Leeds, MK, Hull, and Peterborough as the final 4. The final games on the Sunday. The Phantoms beating the Sheffield Steel Dogs 5-2. Yeah, I think we saw that coming, didn't we? Phantoms at home.
Yeah, Luke Ferrara sounded like he had a game and a half.
It
is showing, actually. One thing I will say is pretty much all of the older Elite League players who came down, like Venus, Dunbar, Peacock, what's his name, Ferrara, and I can't think of any others, but all of the older boys who came down from the Elite League are on smoke right now. They are tearing up this league right now. Like Venus, I think he's top point scorer. Dunbar's up there. Ferrara literally snipes for fun. And the other geezer I was on about, Craig Peacock's really good as well. So, the players coming down from the Elite League are are really good. I know it comes as expected, but they're living up to the expectation, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, we forgot to mention, because he hasn't actually played yet, Barry McKenzie signed with the Bristol Pitbulls. I was very surprised at that, especially if he's living in Scotland. I don't think he played this weekend. That would have been quite funny if he did play against Solway, because obviously he was at Solway, pardon me. But yeah, it'll be interesting one to see how many games he plays, Dan. But yeah, again, that's another experienced head to add to that young team, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be another one I think that will really help him out in the locker room.
Yeah.
And obviously he's had bags of experience in the Elite League and stuff like that. And I'll be wondering if he was at the game in Solway, because obviously he's close to the rink. So I'm wondering if he sort of headed down, sort of see his new team, maybe. I don't know.
Here's his new teammate, Brennan Feasey, and that leads us nicely into the interview. So we'll play the interview, and hopefully it's a good one. Hello and welcome back. We've got another interview. Charlie, do you want to introduce him?
Yeah, we would like to welcome onto the podcast today a skillful Canadian forward. He has just joined the National League after playing in Dubai. He is known for scoring 4 goals a game away from home. It's the new Bristol Pitbulls assistant player coach, Brennan Feasey. How are we doing, mate?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on, boys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. How's it been settling in England, living in England?
Not too bad. A lot of rain, but so far so good.
Yeah, surely you expected that before coming over, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've seen a little bit of snow on the way up to Scotland on Sunday, so that was nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was snowing up north, actually. How was the trip to Solway at the weekend?
Pretty good. A little bit longer, but I mean, Tanner and I are both used to those long road trips being in North America. I mean, nothing's really close over there, so it wasn't too bad.
And it must have felt better as well. You guys bringing back 2 points as well. So I bet the bus journey was buzzing.
Oh yeah, it was a nice. It was a good road trip back. I mean, it's 2 weekends in a row now where we've kind of picked it up a bit, and 3 out of 4 points, 7 out of the last 8. We're definitely headed in the right direction. So hopefully we keep the train rolling here.
Yeah. What do you think's been like the main turning point? Because a few weeks ago, the lads down in Bristol were struggling a bit, but obviously you've come in, he's switched a few players around, and you've got that coaching role as well. What do you think's been that real switch in the team?
Honestly, I think we just got a little bit more buy-in from every guy on the team. We're blocking a lot more shots. A lot of guys are just doing little things. I mean, our penalty kill, I feel, has improved a lot here. As of recent, we're connecting a little bit more on the power play and just building that chemistry, and honestly, just in our room, just the vibes, even at practice, a lot more positivity, and it seems to be working out for us. So I mean, it is easier when you're winning to be positive, but so far in the last couple of weeks here, I mean, nothing but good things.
Yeah, go on, Charlie.
Is there anything in the UK which stood out to you when you joined, which you didn't expect? I don't know. Did you know hockey was here?
Yes. So I did know hockey was here. I knew about the Elite League, and then I didn't know as much about the NIHL, but I was actually talking to Jamie a bit last year while I was in Dubai playing, but it just didn't work out with my season over there, and I was teaching some school as well. So we could make that work, but ended up making it work this year coming over, and honestly, Bristol's a great city. I love it so far.
How did you talked about you managed to make it work this time? How did the move come about then? Did you just keep in contact and you were like, right, I want to make the move to England now?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to play here. I've actually never even visited over here before. So that was something always on my mind. So the year that I was in Belgium, I actually had a contract with Fife in the Elite League signed, but things didn't end up working out then as well. So anyways, it happened pretty quick this year. I had planned to go play down south in America, and I had a player coach role as well. And then it just kind of came about over here very, very quickly with like everything that kind of happened. And I knew Tanner from playing with him there. So he reached out, and then Jamie reached back out, and it was all within about 48 hours, and everything was done. And I was over here on a plane. So yeah, it was perfect.
Did you know you were getting that manager or coaching role as well before you joined over, or was that literally within the first week?
Yeah, no, I had absolutely no idea about that. It was just kind of something I showed up one day to practice, and Jamie asked for a meeting, and Rich, and we all talked about it, and then it just seemed like a good fit. And then ever since then, things have been clicking. So we'll take it.
Yeah, It's been really good for Bristol in the last couple of weeks. Coincidentally, when you've become the assistant coach.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had a lot of players come from the U Sports League into our league. I'm sure you know. And could you give a explanation of how the U Sports League is like to the people watching from our league?
Sure. Back home. So U Sports is basically something where a lot of guys do end up going out of like the major junior route in Canada.
Yeah.
So when I say major junior, that's like OHL, WHL, QMJHL, and then there's obviously some tier 2 junior A leagues and junior B leagues as well that guys come out of. So basically, if you don't get a pro contract right away out of major junior or junior B, a lot of guys tend to go to the school route because then you have your schooling package. So a lot of guys will come out and they'll have their 4 years paid by the CHL or maybe their junior team. So they like to use that, and then you can still play at a high level of hockey. I mean, I think it's very similar. And it's pretty good hockey. I'd say it's pretty similar to like around SPHL, ECHL level, maybe somewhere between the two. Different style, a lot more defensive. You don't play as many games. You only play about 28 games a season. I think we play just because of the school guys have exams, and so it's a little bit different that way. But you do see a lot of more and more guys coming out of the U Sports leagues and either signing, obviously if you're lucky, an AHL deal or ECHL deal or SPHL or some type of pro coming right out of there. And as you said, a lot of guys are coming over to England, even to the NIHL and playing or the elite league, which is nice to see. It's good. It's getting the I guess a little more attention to that league because not many people even at home really like watch it too much, is because there's so much hockey, right? So there's a lot of universities in Toronto, and you got the Leafs there, you got the Marlies there, you got like 2 OHL teams right around the corner. There's lots of options to watch there. So it's nice to get some recognition and I guess good players come out of that league.
Yeah, we've got 2 at Swindon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You played obviously in Canada, what, for 10 years? You played in all sorts of leagues, as you said. You went through the 4 years of U Sports, got some good stats considering. Well, we found you don't really get. There's not too much points in the U Sports compared to the English leagues. Have you found that as well?
Yeah, 100%. That's kind of what I've noticed. Even there's a lot of guys that come out of that league, and if you're putting up, I'd say even a half a goal a game in U Sports, like you're doing very well over there. Just because I said it's a lot lower scoring league, to be honest. Like a lot of games are 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, around that range. You don't really see many scores above 5 really on either side. I don't really know the main reason for that, but good goalies, a lot of defensive structure. Maybe it's just it's a lot less like free flowing, but a lot more structure and system. I'd say maybe that's why it's a little bit low scoring.
Yeah. And you obviously, after those years in Canada, you made the switch to go to Belgium. How did that come around? Did you just want to play some European hockey, change it up a bit?
So right out of my last year, U Sports, that was that COVID year. I ended up going up. Yeah, so it was kind of a crazy year. I ended up going to the New York Islanders farm team up in Worcester, which is near Boston. So I got 5 games in, was supposed to play the rest of the year there. COVID hit. We kind of all sat around for 2 weeks, didn't really know what was going on, ended up going home. Obviously, the next season was that full COVID year.
Yeah.
We all signed back to play again, but that specific division in the ECHL didn't play. So that year, I ended up just teaching some school at home. And then I ended up getting this opportunity. I had one of my buddies back home played in Herentals in Belgium, and kind of connected me that way. And I just ended up working out. Great city there, to be honest. Great guys. I might go visit. It's pretty close to England. It's like an hour,
not too bad,
hour and a half
just a little
flight.
Yeah,
so I might end up flying over there and just to see them over Christmas break. I mean, we only get 2 or 3 days, so it'd be nice to see them. And but that was good. So I've been kind of all over the place with hockey. It's nice using it kind of like a travel tool, and I can make a little money too.
Yeah, go on, Charlie.
I wanted to ask about their Dubai league.
The UAE.
We've been to Dubai before, and
it's
mental that there's hockey over there. But what is it like? Just give us some story or something.
So it honestly, I didn't really know anything about it. I had I had my coach and GM that reach out to me just over social media actually, and just kind of said, "Here's this opportunity." Kind of laid it out, kind of what it was. And I was like, okay, like, let me think about this. This is like it was like an 18-hour flight for me, like big. I was like, I've never even heard of like anybody going to play there. Like, what is it? And so he just kind of broke it down to me. Again, you don't play many games.
Yeah.
You only play about 18 games. I think that's all we played, or 16 games. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And you're there from August all the way till
The
March or
14
April. So like,
games you played, yeah.
yes, it's a long season. So again, the hockey's, there's some guys that play in the NHL and stuff that go there, but I'd say it's more of a later end of your career. Yeah, it's more semi-pro, like end of your career kind of league where you kind of want to go. And again, this beautiful weather all year round. I mean, you go to practice and then you can head to the beach for the rest of the day. You do that every day, right? Like it's just it's crazy, the lifestyle there. Golf, like it is a beautiful place to be for sure. The hockey was just, I wanted a little bit more, so I wasn't ready quite to tone it down that much.
Did you play on because they got the massive mall. Did you play on that rink? Because that's almost like a public kind of rink, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's exactly where. So there's only 5 teams in the league. So there's like a team in there was 2 teams in Abu Dhabi, 1 team in the line, which is kind of in the desert, and then 2 teams in Dubai. So the 2 teams in Abu Dhabi played in the one arena, and then the Dubai teams played in that mall. So
oh wow!
So half of our games are in the mall. So, and again, people there don't like, hockey's obviously not big. Like the games in Abu Dhabi, you get very few fans. But then you end up going to Dubai and like it's a massive, beautiful mall, right? So you just get people stopping by and watching 1,000 people, 2,000 people, whoever just kind of stop because they're walking like 3 different levels.
Yeah, the 3 levels, so you can look over the top on the rink.
That's mental.
Oh, it's absolutely wild. But we'll play a period and then you go off and the Zamboni comes on. Everybody's gone because they don't really, I feel like they maybe don't understand. They're just there. They're tourists and they think the game's over. And then we come back and there's nobody there. But then when we get playing again, then it fills up again. So it was a different experience, but it was cool for sure.
Did they treat you well over there? Were they were the owners nice people?
Yeah, honestly they were. It was a different experience for me for sure, but they did. Everything was top notch. They treated me very well. It was actually, our club was ran by like the government. So it was pretty smooth that way. I mean, getting equipment and stuff a little bit harder, obviously, because we're in the desert. But other than that, it was a good experience, good life experience for sure.
Yeah. And what's the level like there? Because obviously you come down to England. I don't know what you expected the level to be like in England, but what was the level like in Dubai? Was it a decent level, better than we think?
I'd say yes. It's not too bad. I'd probably say it's obviously not as good as the National League here. I wouldn't say, again, just because of a lot of the guys in that league are towards the end of their career kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like most of them are there like either vacationing or they have another job there or whatever that may be. So I'd say it's a little bit below the National League for sure, but it's actually a non-contact league. I found that out as well once I got over there.
Really?
Non-contact?
Yeah. There was no contact in the league actually as well.
So you wouldn't see any fights in there?
No, there was no fights.
No, you can't hit.
No hitting. Like there was there was bumping and grinding a little bit. Like they wouldn't call that, but there was nobody getting like blown up.
Okay, fair enough.
Grabbing their head down. Yeah, so it was a little bit different that way for sure.
Well, now you've come to our league, and I'd say our league's quite physical. How did you deal with it not being physical, obviously in Dubai, and then coming over and you get quite a few fights sometimes? It's checks.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, the way I play, I'm not like a very physical player by any means, but like I don't mind it anyways. Like I mean, that's what I missed about it, to be honest, over there. Like I love getting involved, like getting hit. It kind of gets you in the games too. So over here, like again, it's great so far. Like it's back. It's nice playing some real hockey again.
Yeah. I have to ask about a player because we rave about him on the podcast. We think he's the best D-man in the league. Tanner Butler is a joke.
Yes.
What is it like playing with him? Because he's captain as well now, and everything he does is it shows his Canadian sort of level in our league. But what do you think of Tanner Butler?
Yeah, it does. The old Moose guy from Manitoba. He's a really good guy, man. I knew him before I even got here. Heck of a guy off the ice. On the ice, again, you guys know what he does out there. He shuts the best players down.
Easy, yeah.
Runs our power play. He runs the top on our power play. He's physical. He fights if he has to. Great shot from the point. I mean, you could just talk ends on ends about him. He's a great player. We're lucky to have him here. That's for sure.
How did you know him before? Did you play together before or play against each other, or did you just know each other from where you were staying?
No, we actually played with each other in Indiana. So in Evansville, in the States, in the Southern Pro League down there, we ended up we played together for about 2 months. So we actually knew each other from that and stayed in touch. And then, yeah, it ended up working out. It was perfect. So, and now like we're living together and stuff. So it makes the transition a lot easier for me. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Was there any boys in the dress room who stood out to you when you first got into Bristol?
Into Bristol. I got it. Honestly, all the guys in there are great guys. I live with 2 other guys too, Elliot Lewis and Reese Cochran. So those 2 guys.
He's a character, isn't he, Reese?
Oh yeah, Reese, he is. He really is. So he's helping our team a lot right now. We got the belt last game, and he's out there blocking shots. He's doing all the little things too. As I said, a lot more buy-in recently, and El's had a big goal for us too. So I mean,
he scored again at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah. So things at the house are looking pretty good right now. The vibes are pretty high here.
Only a couple goals from you as well. Only a couple.
Yeah, only a couple. Yeah.
Do you think
no, that's good.
Have you been surprised how many goals you're scoring, or is that your game? As you said, you're not part of the physical side, and maybe coming from UAE, you've found the skill side a bit easier.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like, I mean, I've always been more of a skill guy kind of my life growing up. And coming over here, I think as a goal scorer, like once one goes in, like I feel like you just feel a lot more confident. Like it's not even. It's hard to explain because once you just start shooting, I mean, I shoot quite a bit, but again, once one goes in, it just seems like they all kind of start going. And once you get on a roll, it's a lot easier to play. You feel a lot bit lighter. You don't grip on the stick as tight. I mean, when I first got here, again, I was shooting lots, but not as much was going in. So I was like, like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then eventually, once you get that one, and again, it just
keeps rolling.
Gets rolling. So yeah, it's perfect.
How's it feel being one of the senior guys? Because I think obviously you've got Leeds, you've got Tanner, and then yourself. But it's a very young team, a lot of younger players. Is that one of the reasons why you've been given this coaching role, almost to step up as one of the older players?
Yeah, I think so too. That's kind of what we talked about when I was taking over this role. As you said, we're a lot younger team, so it's just kind of managing the guys in the room. Just kind of doing what I can, maybe giving Jamie some tips here and there of kind of what I'm seeing, like what I'm hearing from the guys. And again, just kind of talking about my experiences, don't get too high, don't get too low. I mean, as you said, because we're such a young team, I find, like, as I said, when we're winning right now, everything's great. When we weren't, things are obviously pretty low. So it's trying to find that even keel at all times and just kind of, again, not trying to get too high or too low at one point, especially even during that game when you give up a goal or when you score a goal, just kind of staying here and staying with our game plan and sticking to that structure and system that, again, helps us simplify our game and win games.
Yeah.
You've got the shot blocking machine, Neil Lydiard, at the back. We had him for 6-7 seasons at Swindon, and we love him to bits, man. He's amazing.
Yeah, Liz is a great guy. He just a wily veteran in the room too. He's great. He's always smiling, happy to be there. I mean, when you're still playing at his age, obviously you love the game, right? So like we got him and Maxi in there, and
very
So we got 2 veterans, and they're great for our room, honestly.
You should have seen Lids back in the day. He was the toughest boy in the league, I'll tell you that one.
Oh yeah, this guy. I swear to God, I think he eats pucks for breakfast, to be honest with you.
That's why he hasn't got many teeth.
Yeah, exactly. He just loves it. That's awesome.
Talking about someone who isn't at the end of their career, Ben Norton, he is one of the hottest prospects as a young goalie right now. What is it? A couple of weeks ago, he was eating up shots for fun. How good is he, and what's the ceiling for him?
Yeah, honestly, once when I got here, I mean, all the guys were telling me about him. Jamie was telling me about him before I got here. Again, he's 19 years old, right? So he has so much time to develop too as a goalie. Like you can just tell he's got the skill set, he's got the right mindset, got a great demeanor to him. Again, like he's gonna learn so much even in the next like 3-4 years here. But right now you can even tell like he's got that skill set. He's in the right positions. He's athletic enough to make those saves when he really has to. Maybe gets a bit scrambly. I think he's Team GB's goalie is there right now, so we lose him for about 2 weeks. That'll be tough for us, but we got Skins coming in, and we're fully confident in him. So so that's good. We're confident in him. So hopefully, again, we can keep this train rolling. And but no, Benny's another really good kid. Definitely a very, very bright future here in British hockey. That's for sure.
Yeah. You've had the big game from I believe he's the other assistant coach in Adam Harden, right?
Yes. Hards is my age or maybe Tanner's age.
Yeah.
And so no, he's doing great. He has a bunch of elite league games. His input's great too off the ice. Again, him, myself, and Jamie were always talking, like whether it be about structure, simple, or just again simplifying things on the ice, off the ice, what we can do with what maybe him and I are hearing in the room. But having him and that presence even on the ice is just is great. I mean, he's hot right now too. I think he's got 4 in his last 4. So I mean, if he keeps putting pucks in the back of net like that, I think we're going to be great. He's great on the penalty kill too, right? I think he had like two 2-minute full kills. I think he still had the full kill last game twice. So again, another guy that just loves getting in front of pucks, and by him doing that, it just shows our younger group that if he's doing it, I mean, like, you got to do it. And once everybody gets that buy-in, I think that's how we started winning games here.
Yeah. You've got this, obviously looking forward to this weekend. You've got the Raiders, who are on a bit of a patch like you were a few weeks ago. And you're only 5 points from playoffs now, so you've managed to pick some points up recently to put you closer. 4-point weekend this weekend, is that the main aim?
Yeah, I think we go into every weekend, thinking anybody can beat anybody in this league right now. Obviously, we got the top end teams; they're great. But again, that's our mindset going in. Especially right now, we got that confidence. But going into London, it's us, London, Solway, and I think Swindon's got a bunch of games in hand. But we're all battling for that last playoff spot. And honestly, it is early enough in the season, but it does start now. So these points, it's kind of like an 8-point weekend essentially, right? Because if we go up 4 and they don't move any in 2 games in hand, that kind of that kind of helps us huge there, and vice versa, right? So I think we just gotta stick to our game, keep it simple.
It's a busy Christmas.
It is a busy Christmas. Yeah. Not too many days off, so we got a lot of games coming up here. So, again, maybe us as a staff will talk about it and maybe give our guys a couple more days off just to kind of relax and get away from the rink for a bit and just to clear the minds. But it's a big weekend for us, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
And in Swindon, we've got about the amount of games you played in Dubai in about 3 weeks. We play it, so it's gonna be a fun one for the Swindon players.
Was there like a hole what was going on there?
Oh, our rink got flooded.
The rink?
So
the
electrical room got flooded, and it just ruined the whole link center. But it's
welcome to English hockey.
You guys are cramming all the games in there now.
Yeah, so it's reopening on the 16th, and we've got 6 or 7
home games in 12 days.
Yeah,
something like that. Wow. No, yes, you almost can. Man, my whole season last year in about 3 weeks.
What were your expectations coming into the season then? Did you have any expectations in terms of stats, or was it literally just to help Bristol try and get that playoff spot and push even higher?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, I don't really come in a year. Like, obviously you want to produce, and that's what you're here for as an import. You definitely have to do that, or else they're going to find somebody else that will, right? So, but again, with that, I feel like that comes along with just, again, mentoring the younger guys in our team. Again, just kind of building that base and structure and just some good character guys in the room. And then hopefully, again, this builds into something. Maybe, you come in next year and we're not battling for a playoff spot. Maybe we're mid-pack, and then the next year we're battling for a first place. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a process, I think, here in Bristol. So
especially with the young team as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think, what is it? Is this the second or third year in the NIHL? For
only their second,
Yeah, so lots of time. Our fans here are amazing. Like, that's what I've said to a lot of the guys here. It's just every home game. It's so loud in Bristol. It's so much fun to play here. So even playing in a bunch of different away rinks now. I mean, taking nothing away against anybody else, but I love playing here in Bristol. It's the fans definitely make it a fun place to play.
Loads of different. Go on, Charlie.
Would you say you're getting into would you say you're in your prime now, and you wanna get as many points as you can?
Yeah. I think when you're hot, so try to stick with it, and hopefully they keep going to the back end. I don't know if we can expect four a game, but at least 1 or 2 would be nice for sure.
Well, you've set the bar for yourself.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
How's it been? Well, you've probably played on many different rinks, but how's it been playing on Slough's rink, then going up to Solway? They're all different types of rinks, different sizes. How have you found playing on them?
Yeah, they are. Honestly, all the away rinks, I find the ice actually very good here too. They're all a little bit different. It's obviously not the same as North America, where everything's one size. You got some here that are maybe Olympic size, some that are a little bit smaller than that, some
South.
in between. Like, yeah, they're all over the place, right? But no, I honestly, we go in with the same game plan pretty well every game, and I mean, it changes obviously rink to rink, team to team, but
Yeah.
So far, I mean, like as I said, I've had a good experience here so far, and nothing's really been too drastic, that's for sure.
We're glad you're enjoying it. Charlie, you always end with this question.
We end with this question, and I've heard you've got to get to training. So
okay, yes. Oh yeah.
What is your message for the Bristol Pitbull fans?
Our message for the Bristol Pitbull fans, I would say, thank you for sticking with us through the first couple of rough weeks of the season there, and we're going to keep this train rolling and hopefully get ourselves into a nice playoff push, and keep on supporting and be as loud as you can.
Nice. Brennan, thank you very much for hopping on. You're absolutely smashing it right now, and we're glad you're enjoying playing in our league. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you come down to Swindon.
Beautiful. Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you. Hello, welcome back. Thank you very much, Brennan, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Absolute bagsman at the moment. So hopefully it was a good little interview and you enjoyed that one. We've got another weekend of fixtures. Charlie, your streak of going to the games is going to come to an end. And we'll start with the Swindon Wildcats, who have a double away fixture. And it'll be quite a tricky one, I think. We've got Solway on the Saturday and Sheffield on the Sunday. So we're completing our Solway away trips. After the Solway one this weekend, we won't play them away in Dumfries till next season. So yeah, Charlie, 4 points I think we've got to try and get. Maybe 3 would be decent as well.
It's not going to be easy. I'd love to win the Sheffield one because 1, it's our first game v Sheffield, and 2, it would count towards the slim chance we have for the cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an important weekend. Shut down the Dunbar line, get on top of Solway, do what we did last time.
Yeah.
And then in Sheffield, just we need to get the goals in really, and play a good defensive game. And Rennie Marr was really good on the weekend, so hopefully he can carry over that form.
Yeah, Dan, obviously we went to Dumfries last time. We watched both the games. We got the 4-point weekend, and then we slipped up in the game at the Cardiff rink. So do you think the Wildcats would have learnt from that and should get the 2 points on the Saturday?
Yeah, I think they would have learned from it, but also Solway are going to be like, we beat these guys last time. There's no reason why we can't do it again, especially in our own rink as well. So
yeah, and
they're going to be pushing for it.
They'll have Mason Alderson back, who wasn't available in any of them games. So
and I think he's jumped straight back onto the top line as well.
He played second line with Henderson and Gardiner.
Yeah, he scored on the Saturday, didn't he?
I think last night, I think he was on the top line, and I think it was both Hendersons with Gardiner.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, well, he scored on Saturday to tie it all up and send it to overtime. So, yeah, he's back. Should we move? Oh, well, on the Sunday, obviously, we got Sheffield. A really big weekend, actually. The Raiders versus the Pitbulls double header. This is the battle of 11th and 10th, sorry. You got to think going into this, Pitbulls are going to be favourites. If there was odds on favourites, Pitbulls probably would be odds on favourites, Charlie, do you think?
Yeah, it's a war zone of a game, that one where both teams can't really afford to lose. I think both teams would definitely want to win at home, and the away game would be nice. And for Raiders, they just need to get back in the winning chart. Yeah. Their team's better than what it's performing at. They're a good team, Raiders. They were playoff finalists last year, and their new imports, that McCabe looked good. I haven't watched the other guy, but Leishram was back this weekend. So really for Raiders, it's about just getting points, and for Bristol, just keep rolling. So
McCrae did have a good shot on him, actually. He knows how to put the puck in the net. So the Raiders players need to step up, though. They just do. I know they've had troubles this season with players coming in, imports not coming in, players going out, and a couple of injuries here and there, but they do need to get some points on the board, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, they do. And obviously the unsettled lineups can obviously have a big effect, but I think they've actually started getting quite a regular lineup quite recently. So yeah. I think maybe a week of training, they're going to know the importance of this game as well. So they're going to have to go for it. You're
Yeah.
almost saying like Bristol were going to do a few weeks ago is the same as Raiders. They're just going to have to go for it.
Yeah, you have to find some little patch of confidence.
And then they'll go bag 8 points and we'll be sat here going, fair play, Raiders.
This season is so unpredictable. A nice little weekend for Leeds. They've got Telford at home on the Saturday and then Bees away on the Sunday. Actually, I say it a nice one. No game's easy, but it'll be interesting to see how the Knights do in Bees because I think they only won 3-2 there last time. So the Bees, they're going to give them a go, can't they? And Telford's never an easy team to play against.
Yeah, it's another one of them ones where like we're sat here again going, well, they're favourites, but like it wouldn't shock me if the other team won. So
yeah. I think this is going to be game of the weekend, this one coming up. The Milton Keynes Lightning have Sheffield Steel Dogs at home on the Saturday, which I do expect them to win that one, especially on home ice. But on the Sunday, they've got Hull Seahawks away. And Hull Seahawks have had a couple of wins over them this season. So, yeah, MK, they might trip up on them again, mightn't they?
Yeah, Bobby Chamberlain loves the game against MK, you can guarantee him on the score sheet. But yeah, that will be a juicy game actually. And Hull will be looking to carry on their momentum of the 4-pointer, and MK won't want to drop any points because Leeds are gonna keep winning. Well, gonna try winning. So again, that's gonna be a proper game again. And I think MK, the key for them is just staying out the box and not getting involved in fights like they did against Leeds.
I'm not sure what date is where all the young lads go to play in the tournament.
Oh, it's this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Okay, so that's a talking
MK are
point.
going to be about a lot of players.
Yeah, MK I think are missing 4 and maybe 5.
6, I think.
Oh, 6.
Yeah. I said 6. Yeah.
Okay,
and Bristol for Raiders haven't got Norton. They've got Skins in goal. So a big weekend for Dean Skins.
Oh yeah, good point actually. Yeah, so there is a few little players. We were debating at the Bees game, actually, about which defensemen and which players we think should be in it. But at the end of the day, Jamie Smith's not in the team. We think he should be in it. Obviously, we might be a bit biased, but it's probably a good thing that he's not because he's now able to play in both big away games this weekend, isn't he, lads? So that's I guess this swings and roundabouts. The final games, which I haven't mentioned, Peterborough have Hull on the Saturday. So Hull will have a hard game on the Saturday before they do face MK. Peterborough at home have been quite good this season. And then the final game, which I didn't mention, was the Telford Tigers against Peterborough on the Sunday. So, yeah, I think this is a little interesting weekend. Not as many actual double headers because there was 3 this weekend. So be interesting to see. Lads, anything to add on that? I can quickly go through the league table. MK Lightning are top for now, but Leeds do have 3 games in hand. So if they win all 3 of those games in hand, they do still go 4 points ahead. That win on Sunday was vital, wasn't it, Charlie? Because it means that they can just get ahead easily back again.
Yeah, they got 3 games in hand, but 2 of them, one is Hull away, one is Swindon away, so not easy games.
Yeah, talking of Swindon, we have moved up to 6th, but we've only played 16 games. Peterborough have played 21 games, and if we win all of our games in hand, which I'm not saying we're going to do, we go 3 points ahead of Peterborough. So we could possibly be third place if we were able to play all of our games. So that's a little bit of an interesting one. And then the battle of the bottom, Raiders are on 11 points and Bristol are on 13. So they're both on 20 games played. So this weekend is actually huge for Bristol to almost get away from the Raiders, isn't it?
Yeah, and for Raiders, thinking about how they're missing Jacob Whitesay and Norton. For Raiders, it's they're going to be looking at that saying we need to test Dean Skins in his first game back this season, I think. So
yeah, he hasn't played a single game.
Say.
The pressure is on Skins in a way because it's a big weekend for him and he hasn't really played much hockey. So yeah, it's gonna be one where Raiders need to get the 4 points for me.
And I think Norton's been on really good form as well. So
yeah, he has been.
He's got to sort of follow in that form as well, which is going to be tough.
It's good for GB though that
he's going to be carrying that over.
Form.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Good luck to the GB boys who are coming out and bring it home, boys, because we only like gold. No, I'm joking, but we'd like to see them do well. There's lots of podcast guests. We've got Ollie Endicott on there. Josh Shaw on there, so Come on, boys. Come on, Macca's Talk Hockey, boys.
Yeah, hopefully it could do well. We won't have an episode next week. We will have a week off, obviously, because we'll be watching the NHL games. So no episode next week. We will be back for the week after, and I think I'll try and get a little higher, lower game or some sort of stats-based game. So no cheating, lads. Don't go over to the stats and have a look, because that just ruins the game. We appreciate everyone hopping on. Thank you very much, Feasy, for hopping on with us. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Make sure to follow all our socials at Macca's Talk Hockey. Peace.
Bye-bye.
See you later.